Good morning. This is Tiffany with Infinite Vision. I hope you all are having a fabulous and terrific Tuesday. So, I wanted to come on just kind of in the spur of the moment, kind of thinking of things. And one of the topics that came up recently for me with my business, but also with some clients, is setting boundaries in your business and your life. And I find this really important because it's super easy to set boundaries, to kind of coach about setting boundaries, but then to do them for yourself, for me, it's been a little difficult. As a small business owner and someone that's been around for, I've been doing Infinite Vision for 10 years, I've done previous videos on and articles on what to give away for free and where to set that boundary. And then there's also this kind of struggle between you see so much content out there and there's so much free information with social media that it's to what extent do you allow someone to keep pushing? So I'm going to talk about a personal instance recently, which I think might help some people, because I think whether it's, for your business or whether it's for your life, setting boundaries is extremely important. It's one of the things I teach my clients. For example, I was speaking with a client and they were getting calls at all hours of the day and night. And the thing is, they were responding. And granted, if your contract says that you're going to be available 24/7, you got to be available 24/7. So for example, when I worked with outsource tech initiatives, so let's say you're doing help desk, you have 24/7 contracts, you need to have somebody there all the time. Now, if you're doing marketing, if you're doing social media, if you're doing sales, you need to set those boundaries. Or even if you're doing technology, it depends on what the contract is. So if you set the expectation that you're going to work between a certain amount of time, let's say between regular business hours, and actually say in your contract, I'm going to work between 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever that is. So set that expectation when you're doing your contract. And I highly advise that if you're a small business owner, regardless if you have the legalese to actually write a contract, Google it, contact me, just write something, because when you don't set the expectations, that's when your boundaries are broken. Believe me, from tons of experience, it happens. And the thing is, when you set expectations, people know what to expect. Obviously, that's setting expectations, but they also know not to push that, and you have to be strong in it. So, for example, I'll go back to the recent incident. So, I had somebody I was speaking to literally an entire month ago, and we were talking, just kind of had an exploratory conversation, because that's kind of what you call when you're strategizing about things, and said is really, really interested in doing work together. Fantastic. Feel free to email me. I have a questionnaire. I want to know that if somebody's interested in working together, that they're actually going to be on board. Whether, because you want it to be a good fit for both you and for them. And also because my calendar is pretty full. So I want to know that if I'm going to invest time, they're going to invest their time in doing the work. Because coaching, especially business coaching, but even with life coaching, I give homework. I'm not just teaching to teach. I want you to get something out of it if you're working with me, because I want it to be the best experience, right? So I was offline for a couple days, literally taking care of my health, and I get 7 points of contact. Seven. Okay? I get an email. I get messages all over every form of social media. Did you get my email? Did you get my email? Did you get my email? This is within a 10-minute period of sending an email, when I'm literally offline and unable to respond because I'm taking care of my physical health with medical professionals. Now, this was somebody that I don't have a contract with. This is somebody that I don't owe them anything. And even if they were a client, the clients that I was working with, I actually had emailed, look, I'm going to be out of my office for this period of time, setting expectations again. Please, if you need me, if this is an emergency, you can contact this person, but otherwise I'll be back at this time. So I set that expectation with them, but again, this is somebody that has no contract with me. So when I get back online, I see all 7 messages, and mind you, not just one person did this, like 3 separate people, because I'm always online, so that's how it appears, but that's not always the case. There's ways to post messages and automate them and make yourself appear online, so for a business, that's really good. Just another conversation. So I email this person back, and, trying not to, anonymity, trying not to send too much information out there. And wouldn't you know, after 7 points of contact of it being an emergency that he needs to, or the person needs to talk to me, that he still hasn't gotten back to me in 24 hours. Interesting, right? So I set a boundary in my email saying that I'm really glad you want to work together. I was dealing with a personal health issue. If you want to work together, here's the list of things you have to do, including filling out the questionnaire, discussing your budget, and, what exactly are you looking for from me? I have tons of video online. I have tons of information on my website. I need to know what form of coaching or what form of engagement you want. And to be perfectly honest, at the moment, because of January being so busy, I didn't have time for strategy calls. And I'm starting to wonder if it's even, worth the time when you get to a certain level to do those calls. So, as I send this back, I'm like, okay, well, he'll send me something back. It's been silent. So, lesson learned, right? So it's been repeatedly a lesson learned, because normally if me 2 years ago, even recently, if somebody called me and wanted to do business, they would get a call right away. Literally, I'd pick up the phone and be like, hey, I'll help you, whatever you need. That's a problem, okay? Because I've gotten calls, when I did work with Mexico, I was getting calls at 11 p.m., 5 a.m. The one time I fell asleep, they got frustrated that they didn't have full access to me. Look, I'm only one person. Insomnia is a problem. My health is a problem. As a business owner, you have to set those boundaries, set those expectations. So not only you're not taken advantage of in terms of your own time, but in terms of your money and in terms of, look, people are going to post reviews about you online. There's going to be more people that post negative reviews than positive reviews. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. People love complaining. It's so true. If you go to a store and you get a bad clerk, how many more times do you hear somebody complaining about a bad clerk than if you get a good clerk? How many times do you go to the manager and be like, that person was amazing? Now, I do that. I've actually called people that, for example, somebody that I worked in an airport, I sent an email to their boss and they wound up getting a raise because they were so kind to me when I needed some help. I didn't need to do that. Nobody needs to give a bad review. They do. And, I'm sure, there's people that write bad reviews about me. Look, someone actually wrote something about my bookshelf and how I look terrible standing in front of it. Okay, that's nice. Do you want to pay for a new background? It's, I guess the reason of me coming on is the fact that as a small business owner, as somebody that speaks, as somebody that is essentially, a public figure, because I'm publicly coming to you, people feel as though they're warranted towards your time, that they own you to a certain extent. And I realized through this series of messages that I got, it was just a confirmation in, what I've been thinking for quite a while now. And it's actually one of the, chapters that I've been working on in terms of my business or in terms of my book for Hay House. I have a bunch of different chapters, and it's guys, you don't owe anyone anything. If it's going to hurt you physically, if you need to sleep, if you need to eat lunch, look, I have to schedule my lunch and my breakfast, and I literally forget because I get so focused with work. If you need to focus on your self-care, if you need to focus on your health, I don't care if you have a business, I don't care what's going on. You need to put you first. And it's such a hard lesson to learn. Look, I'm not saying that I'm perfect with this. I have to remind myself all the time. Thank God for, having somebody that loves me as well, that reminds me to do that when I forget, because I get so wrapped up. And I don't know if the people that are watching right now own businesses, or, maybe it's even your job, or maybe it's your family. But I think it's something that we don't talk about a lot. And I think it's really important because, we have this society that's always on, right? We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on email, you're on text, you're on your phone, you're on this, you're on that, you're on that, you're on that. It's never ending. Oh, and LinkedIn. And it's like, if I don't get back to you within 5 minutes, it doesn't mean you're less important than if I get back to you within 24 hours. It just means that maybe I'm in a meeting. Maybe I'm not well that day and having a procedure done, as was the case last week. Or maybe, just maybe, I need a minute. And it's not that I'm angry. It's not that I'm not trying to respond to you. But you don't need to follow up with somebody 7 times in order to, get their attention and be like, oh, are you ignoring me? No, dude, I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm literally trying to prioritize. I have well over 10,000 people on social media. I try so hard to get back to all of you as soon as humanly possible. And I don't want this all to sound like I'm ungrateful, because I'm super grateful. And, God willing, my goal was to go from 10,000 to 100,000 this year. It's going to get crazier, which is why I'm going to hire more people to help. But as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur that, hires contractually, or even when I hire full-time, there's a certain level of respect and disrespect you get when you own your own business, because people think you can get on a free call at any time of the day or night and they tell you when they can meet. That's nice. That's great that it works for you, but no, here are the expectations of working with me. Here are the boundaries of working with me. And that all came from having to self-care. And I know a lot of you that are watching, because I saw some of you jump on, you own businesses too. So I'm sure you can feel my pain. And, and it's not pain, it's really the fact of learning. And it's taken me 10 years to learn this, from literally giving every single thing I had when I was finishing a project and not sleeping for days because I want to finish and I want to put my best self out there. Well, I learned as I got older and as I got sicker, my best self needs sleep. It needs to eat. It needs to, take care of her health. And I'm not less of a person and I'm not less of a business owner because I have to do these things or because I have issues. And if somebody doesn't want to work with me because they can't understand that I have to have the same business structure of working during daytime hours and working when we have a meeting, as opposed to you not showing up or you deciding that instead of our 10 a.m., you're going to go and call me at 10 p.m., which has happened. You can't do that. You wouldn't do it to a doctor. You wouldn't do it to a lawyer. And you certainly wouldn't expect to do that to anybody else you have an appointment with, let alone ask for discounts when you go to like a Target or a Walmart when they're making millions and a small business owner, you're literally asking them to discount or give for free what they're doing, their intellectual property. So this is kind of one of those things where I want other business owners to know that I get you. Like, I am you. Like, 10 years strong. 2019 is literally the 10-year anniversary of Infinite Vision. And let me tell you, it's like a brand new business. And honestly, it is going to be a brand new business because of moving states so many times, registering in different states. You kind of are starting fresh. And, I started as a sales consulting firm and outsourcing everyone's sales and literally just in a way hiding between what they were doing to now speaking and writing and doing my own book, and still working with these amazing people and thought leaders who, funny enough, so very much understand the plight, so to say, of a small business owner, because we all came from the same place. We're all cut from the same thread. We all that are doing our heart's work and are on our path feel the same way and get it. So, this is me telling all of you guys that are starting your business, because like startups are literally my joy and my bread and butter. But everyone that's starting a company, whether it's your hobby, a side hustle, or your full-time business, set those boundaries, realize that you got to lay out expectations in a contract, and then stick by them. There's nothing wrong with you. People are always going to demand your time, but you need to demand that you balance and you watch yourself, you watch your health, you watch your sleep, you watch your eating. And those things seem like a general knowledge, but they're really not. They're really not. I mean, I am a hyper-focused type A perfectionist that is recovering from all of those things. And I've learned all of these things along the way. So I guess it's kind of, a good point to end. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to send me a message. But what would really help, I see about 20 or so people online right now. If you guys could just give me a wave or a like. As I mentioned in my other videos, if you don't like it, or if you don't put hashtag replay or hashtag live, it literally only gives me the number of people that are watching live. It doesn't tell me who it is. So I want to know who's watching these things. I think that's only fair. I'm not asking for anything from you guys. So I'd love to see if anything resonates with you guys. If you're a business owner or small business owner or a large business owner, let me know if this resonates. I think setting boundaries and setting expectations are something that's really important in business and in life, and it's something that I teach and something that I continually try to perfect for myself. So this is Tiffany Freud with Infinite Vision. You can reach me at www.freudsinfinitevision, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. I'll stay online afterwards for a little bit, so you can send me messages and I can see all of your hashtag lives and hashtag replays. But otherwise, wishing you a wonderful day, and I hope all of you guys remember that it is okay to put yourself first and set boundaries regardless. If you own your own business, if you're running your own life, if you're running your own family, you do need to take care of yourself too. Love and light, and have a great day. Bye-bye.